ritual because we're using a shredder. Well, unfortunately, Bob had to install a smoke detector up here, so we can't burn it. I remember I was at a conference once, and she used a shredder, and I go, I like it. And when you think about shredding, you're like, yeah. So here's what we're going to do today, and I want everybody, so I think I'm going to need a little assistance from somebody. So you're going to take a piece of paper and a pencil. And as I'm talking, I want you to think about something that is not joyful in your life. Because my talk title is The Power of Joyful Thoughts. And I wanted to share a little bit, you know, it's interesting that a talk comes up and then I have all kinds of wonderful examples that happen during the week. Well, one of them was, I teach a yoga class, and one of the participants, or one of the students, said to me, you know, I'm having a horrible time, and it's just awful because I have a tenant that won't move out of the house, and I've just sold the house. Whoa. And I said, and if she doesn't, I'm going to get sued, and I go, okay, stop it. Right now, stop. So are you willing and are you able to do a prayer with me? Oh, thank you. So we sat and we did a prayer. And we prayed about turning it over. This is a job for God. You know, all the things that I always tell you to do, right? And as we did that, she became peaceful. And she said, I'm going to hold that and affirm that all week. Because the alternative was stressed out, going crazy, and not feeling good about her life. And so I said, now let's do yoga and you'll feel even better. So it was great. So the following week, she said to me, I said, oh, by the way, remember you were all distraught about what was going on, and oh, they're not going to move out, oh. And in the prayer I'd said divine perfect timing, right? So I said, what happened? I said, I bet it was a good outcome, wasn't it? And she said, oh, I was on my knees thanking you. And I said, well, you shouldn't thank me, baby, you should thank God. But what happened is that the individual, the new owners were going to take the house over 12 noon. The old owner moved out at 10:30 a.m. and left the place perfectly clean and beautiful and nice, and the new owner was able to take over. So what do you call that? Divine perfect timing?
Yes,
okay.
absolutely.
And that was being in the joy rather than being in the worry and the stress and the doubt. And that's really what it's about. So what I'm going to have you do today is think about something that stresses you. And something that, and if you have nothing, you know, what would you like to release and have more of? So maybe you're saying, you know what? I go into a lot of not allowing myself to feel deeply connected with spirit. So I'm going to let go of separation. Or I'm going to let go of worrying about my health. Or I'm going to let go, you know, think of something. You've all got it, right? And a lot of you have money issues, or you have financial issues, or you have, you know, legal issues. It doesn't matter what it is. You know, this is, you're going to laugh, it's a shredder, but you know what? Energetically, you are letting go of it, you're dissipating it. You're just saying, you know what? I no longer want this, and I'm going to have what I desire. So everybody got something you want to let go of? Yeah? Okay,
yeah.
Write it down. I'm going to share another story. So, you know, joy, and here's a quote from Henry Nouwen. Joy does not simply happen to us. We have to choose joy and keep choosing it every day. Because if we don't choose, and this is exactly what Ernest Holmes teaches in Science of Mind, is that we have to continuously recondition our minds, recondition our thoughts, recondition how we were programmed when we were growing up. So I watch these babies. You know, I have a granddaughter and all these little kids that are so conscious now. But I watch, you know, I just want a funny story about my granddaughter. So she's in the present moment, but she kind of isn't, because the personality is that she wants to be in control of everything, and she was born that way. Wild, huh? So she's running down an obstacle course, and she's not concerned about running down the obstacle course and winning. She wants to make sure all the obstacles are lined up. She's in control of her world. And she fixes that one, runs a few steps, fixes that one. I know, right? You got the picture? Fixes that one, and I'm like, oh, Lord have mercy, this child. That is so not her grandma. Anyway, so another thing she did, I was down there on Wednesday, and I thought, wow. And so this is control, wanting to control your world. And she says, you know, and I gotta laugh, there's a fly on the wall. I go, what? I'm just being present with her, reading a book. KK, there's a fly on the wall. I'm like, oh my gosh. And there was a little dinky gnat, and she saw it. So there's got to be a way for that child to use that in her joy to create some gift around that with that kind of focus and that kind of awareness. Because all that's telling me is that's awareness, isn't it? Yeah. Because I'm like, I didn't know the fly on the wall. Are you kidding me? And you know, and she'll pick up a little speck of dust and hand it to me. I go, no, baby, trash can. Anyway, so it's really interesting that our personalities are really set when we're born. And I'm watching this happen. And we can shift how that can be in our lives, can't we? How many of you have certain traits that, I don't know, you're going to laugh, but I was incredibly, painfully shy when I was a child. I was so scared I hid behind my mother, okay? So it took me years and years and years, and now I'm a minister, right? But what's interesting, when I was in junior high school, we had a speech class. Oh my gosh, this is the best thing on the planet. And here's this shy kid, and I wouldn't talk to anybody, but boy, could I give a speech. Isn't that incredible? You know, we don't have a clip, but we'll show it in a little bit. Conversely, Bev Berry's granddaughter was in a play. What was she singing? The song from, not Annie, was another play.
From Wicked.
From Wicked. And this child who is like real shy, retiring, she's belting out the song and she's up there, and we'll show that. We've got to show that clip because you will see an incredibly small child who grew up here but had the confidence from this teaching in order to move into her life in a powerful way. Isn't that amazing? So when I see that, I just get goosebumps. It's incredible. So that's what can happen on a really wonderful way. Now, I want to just share another story. So we shared the fun story, the good story. I'm going to share another story that's not so great. There's an individual, a friend of mine who has a friend. And this friend of mine is deeply spiritual and believes in all of this work. And you know, she's spouting to me about the secret and, you know, all of our teachings that we teach her, which are spiritual principles, right? And she's trying to help her friend understand that we are a frequency and that whatever we are resonating at and whatever we're broadcasting, we're going to get that back. How many of you have had that happen? Oh, I'm poor. We're going to get more being poor and more bills and more things breaking down, right? But, you know, it's interesting because if this individual says, well, I'm not getting enough work, and so there's this underlying theme of victimhood, but it's running through her life, but she doesn't see it yet. And she was in a situation at her job, and they cut back her hours. Oh, see, that's what my life's like. See what happens to me? And so what do you think that individual is going to attract? More of that to happen. Now, she also says, I have issues with my health because my family has issues with their health. So if my mom died of a heart attack at 45, I'm going to die of a heart attack at 45. What a powerful manifestation. I mean, really. And when you think about it, we are so powerful, and that's what you've got to be careful of. It's not like, you know, they showed in The Secret. How many of you seen that, right? If you haven't seen it, you can see it for free and watch it because it shows that there is not instant manifestation. You know, you think pink elephant's not going to appear. Well, maybe if you're a guru. But what happens is that we put that feeling, tone, and that thought out, like Roxy said, you know, put the twinkly lights, they're dancing, you know, that would be Roxy, dancing, la la la. And then you can have whatever you desire, a man, money, the foundation, whatever you want to have in your life. But you have to keep that focus and that high level of vibration and joy. Because if you don't keep that high level of joy and that feeling, what happens? What happens? Tell me.
It seeps back in.
It's exactly. So that quote that I just read, it got to be every moment. I was talking to my girlfriend, it was her birthday yesterday, and I called her on the way up because she's my kitty mommy for a while. And she said that, you know, she says, well, you know, I'm going to come up for that intuitive fair on Saturday. I said, yeah, and oh, there's this great guy Keith, and there's this person, and you know, there's Sal, and there's all these people that you haven't even met yet, right? Vicky. And I said, she says, well, but, you know, there's nothing wrong with us. You know, why do we have to keep going to these healers? And I said, so are you dead? So have you finished your work where you are having this most gorgeous, perfect experience? But why do we need healing? And why do we have to have that work? And why do we have to go to classes? Why do we have to do all that? Aren't we perfect the way we are? Yes, we are. And what happens is we have the influence of society on us, right? And I don't watch the news. Art reports to me all the time, bless him. So I don't need to watch it. And it's really about looking at the collective consciousness. So here, what was fascinating is that as we were saying, what would we do if we had unlimited funds? Isn't it interesting that this group said the same thing collectively? Because we are that collective consciousness. Now, if we're thinking that, and we continue to pray and know that truth, we can affect thousands and thousands of people. You know that, right?
Yes.
Dr. David Hawkins talks about how if we continue to resonate and vibrate at that high frequency, then what happens is that we affect thousands and thousands and thousands of people. All we have to do is up a level, just a touch. He said not even a quarter of a point. And we, right? He's going, Because as we do, that's like the Richter scale. I'm going to say it's like the Richter scale. And as you go up on that spiritual Richter scale, you're going to expand in ripples and ripples of good things, not destruction, but ripples of awakening for individuals. So why do we pray? Why do we get healing? Why do we do all that work? Why do we do it? Why do we do it? Don't you want to feel better? We want to feel more joy. We want to feel that deep connection to God. That's what we want. We want that divine urge. We want our soul's purpose to show up and get rid of all of the things that are blocking us. So here, back to my beloved, this gal, and she's a sweetheart. So I just try not to say anything, you know, because they've got to have their journey. But I'll say something at one point, say, would you consider possibly looking at things in another way? And I just want to see, because I think I shared, or maybe I didn't share, I have a plumber, and he came and he was working on my house, and he said, oh, I'm so stressed out. I just can't take it. This job is so hard on me. And I said, okay, so, hey, would you consider doing an affirmation? He said, okay, and he says, anything, I'll do anything. I can't take it anymore. I've tried meditation and yoga, I've tried it all. And I said, well, how about this? Let's just do an experiment like we talked last week. I said, I'm going to write out a little affirmation for you. I feel peace and calm and joyful all day long, okay? So I gave that to him 8 years ago.
Oh.
He came back to do some work in my house when I was remodeling. And he said, you know, I want to show you something. He still has that affirmation taped to his window in his truck.
Oh, wow.
And he said, from that simple statement, and I'm getting chills, because that simple statement of looking at it like Henry said in that quote, every single moment and looking at it and being that rather than, I'm stressed out. So it's really, and so I think I am going to give that little gal a little affirmation and see if maybe she'll use it. Because, you know, affirming you're going to die and have horrible health problems, affirming that you're never going to get work, affirming, right? It's like, wow, I'm really good at this. Or affirming that you're broke all the time and I'm not good with managing money. Whoa, you're going to get bored of not being good with managing your money. Oh, how about an individual that is a partner and you have attracted horrible men or women all your life? Oh, how about I attract the most beautiful, perfect individual for me right now? How about that? How about that? How about, Diana, that I can sell my artwork and I attract all kinds of clients that want a commission and have my art? And that's really it. But at some level, we have to believe it. So when Roxy told me about the twinkling lights, I said, okay. And I like golden showers, you know, golden showers, and oh, it's all going through, and remember we've done that too. But, you know, as you're doing that exercise, think about up-leveling a little bit. So I was thinking, oh, I want 300,000 for the center. And then pretty soon the twinkly lights are like, nah, more than that. Okay, 500. Then I went, oh, 600. And then this morning I'm driving up and the number came up, 700. I'm accepting. And so what we have to do is when some gorgeous, beautiful individual comes into our life, a great job, we have to let go of the old self-sabotage because that's going to happen too. There's a gal, I think I shared this a little bit last week, but maybe not. But there's individuals that will have something handed to them, and we all have seen it. And then what happens? They sabotage and toss it away because they don't feel worthy and valuable to have it. So really look today. This isn't just a fun little, oh, I'm going to shred, no. Let's look deeply at what's going on that needs to be released, because as we are a collective, and we're a powerful group here, you all know that, there's no mistake you are here today. You're going, I'm here to shred? Okay. So it's really to let go of the old patterns, behaviors, and things. And you go, well, we do this pretty much every week. Well, yeah, we do. You know why? Because it's going to keep showing up until you're clear. We're not doing what do you call it? I'm trying to think of the group that gets you to clear. But we do get you to clear. There you go. And I've done that too. But what happens is that, you know, we continuously, as we look at it, and there's a saying that we say on Science of Mind, is that as we're present to it, Kama Chodron, Buddhism says this, Science of Mind says it, and what happens is that as we're present to it, it releases, okay? As we're more present, you go, wait, that again? I'm having that again? I'm done with that. Oh, obviously not. So it's again, time to shred it, time to burn it, time to whatever it is that you're gonna do. So take this seriously, because I take it seriously that I want to let go of something that's not serving me in my life anymore. I've been working on not stressing out on Saturday nights so I can sleep before I come up here. Can you imagine? I've been stressing for 8 years. Seriously? I go, are you done with that, girl? Are you done? And I'm done. I'm done. I used to get up and work on my talk for 2 hours. I'm done. No more, because I realized this job is my dream job, and I'm sabotaging it and making it hell for me. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm going, I'm clear. And so as I continue to get clearer and clearer, thank God I went to John and God, that kicked me up another level. But it allowed some of that stuff to release out. So that's why we go to classes, prayer, meditation, chanting. That's why we do it all, to clear in order to be more present and available for spirit. And as Pastor Joe says, you have God's favor. And as you have God's favor, you know, you have to open your arms out wide and say, yes, I accept it. You don't just say, bring it on, which I do. Bring it on! But you also say, I accept it, and I feel worthy, and I am valuable. And keep saying that, because as these things come into you, and they will, it's like a river. So let's say Penelope goes, I'm not going to do that CD. No, I'm not ready. I'm too scared. Okay, so again, another opportunity will float in front of her in the river. Just, I think I'm scared, but I'm going to do it this time. And then another opportunity floats. Oh, I could do a third and a fourth in one time, in one trip. I think I'm going to step into that. And so it's really a process about allowing ourselves to have the more. My beloved Reverend Nirvana Gale, who I'm still mourning, I remember him saying, because I was having a lot of trouble with men, and he said, so, Maryum, don't you want the more in your relationships? And I go, what does that mean? He goes, you got to go meditate on that one. Don't you want the more? Don't you want to have the fullness and the expansion in your life? Don't you want that? And I said, yes. And I remember I cried for days, realizing I was creating my reality. I was creating all of the stress and the agita, everything. So now it's like when I see it and I go, ooh, opportunity to grow. And that's really what it is. So it's an opportunity to grow. Okay, so are we ready to shred?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I like. Okay, so let us, maybe we could put on a little music, Denise. Do we have any meditation music?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.